Welcome to episode 6. For what it's worth. My name is Axel. This is Wheels. We are your hosts.
Of cars.
I liked Axel, and I didn't know what I was going to say.
Clearly.
And
Wheels.
Wheels is like the obvious thing, so that was dumb.
Welcome back. Episode 6. For what it's worth. This is, I feel like, how we anticipated this being from the start, and then it just worked out that we've been able to do the videos on Saturdays. So we have been up in my very aesthetic... Anyway, we've been up in my very aesthetic office, and now welcome to our basement. Basement chats after the girls went to bed.
This is what I envisioned. It was more just a cozy little
Also, I didn't even think
chat.
I might have food and snot on my shirt.
I looked quickly. I was like,
Didn't
I think
change.
I'm okay. I got hairs. Got some milk.
Yeah.
Is what it is. So hey, how you doing?
Lulu, settle down.
We had a longer week than we would have envisioned, because we always knew that the wedding was this weekend.
Yeah, we're recording this a couple days later than we normally would because we're gone.
It's Monday. We normally record on Saturday. It's Monday because we were gone. So we had the away for weekend, first time without the girls, but the week before, or the days leading up, which were expected to just be get some stuff done, like
packing wise and stuff for the girls,
finalize any business things that we had to tie off, and then everything kind of happened at once.
Yeah, my merch, no ma'am. Come here. Yeah, my spring merch ended up getting delayed a little bit because there was some graphic things, and then anyway, it just got delayed. So I was expecting to have them all shipped out by Monday. And I literally got the shirts on Thursday, which is the day before we were leaving. He was leaving at 5 a.m. on Friday, 5 a.m. on Friday, so left the house.
4:30.
Yeah. I had a flight in the middle of the day, so I was trying to have everything totally done. And I picked up 300 items on Thursday.
At 2 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
About.
Yeah, so that was really busy for me. And the day before, you ended up having to basically do a whole other Gushies launch, basically.
Yeah, I'll talk about that in a second. But you got all your orders.
Yeah, I got them all out. So because he had most of his stuff done, by the time the girls woke up from their nap, we kind of flip-flopped.
Yeah.
I packed a little bit, because that was the thing. We take each individual item and put them in the clear bags for extra protection. So I had to do all of that and pack the actual orders. So that took a while. And I didn't have you to help like I had planned because you were doing your own thing. Yeah. But we literally put the girls down on Thursday, and I don't think we said anything to each other for 3 hours.
We worked until 10, 11.
Yeah. But I got everything packed, loaded everything up in the car.
But so everyone's merch is on their way.
Yeah, I already have people who have said they got it.
But you bought extra.
Yeah, I doubled it like I said last time. So
you told
I waited. Already? Yeah, I waited until I had everything shipped out, and then
just kidding.
I waited until I had everything shipped out, and then I counted inventory today and added all of that on. So I shipped out another 8 orders today.
So I know there's been at least one person who's commented on these videos saying, "Oh, missed it.
Missed out.
I missed it." No excuse now. If
There's
you want
also
it. Well, I guess I
have some old, the original stuff on there and the new spring stuff. So
everything that's left.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, there's stock of everything. Not in every single size. Most of them, all the sizes are available though. I know you're touched out by the end of the day, and the first thing he wants to do is just
lays on you.
Smother you.
This is our area that we come to just unwind.
Yeah.
Well, I do a lot of work down here. My computer work, that's my spot. But after the girls go down, he knows, he's like, well, I don't have to fight with them for attention. and he just will sit on you
Yeah.
and claw at your legs,
Making biscuits.
make biscuits, nudge with his wet nose,
Yeah.
and his forehead.
It's just nonstop.
And when he like
At least he doesn't drool anymore.
he's so much
That's-
better than he used to be with like at night, because
Oh.
at night he used to just like sit on your chest, and then he would nudge
Aggressively.
your ear
Yeah.
while he's purring,
Yeah.
like making that sound in your ear. It was like one of the worst things
Wait, and he
Of
used
all
to
time.
drool.
And
Like
he would
he used
drool,
to
yeah.
have like
hanging down.
yeah, it was oops, sorry. It was everywhere. It was disgusting. So yeah, he's gotten better.
Yeah. Anyways. But so yeah. Merch
all
was
my
all
stuff
good.
done.
Got it all
Yep.
done. And then what happened with Gushies was,
Cuz your launch was the week before
My
cuz we
launch
talked
was-
about
yeah.
it in the last video.
yeah, my launch was the week before. We still had a few left. However, I sent some out to
Influencers.
influencers. And there's one who must have the best engagement and the most loyal fan base of all time.
I think it is just Chloe and
Bounds.
well, yeah, but Chloe and Addison. I think it's just the perfect combination because he does food,
Yeah.
so people like pay attention
That's-
to them
yeah.
for food stuff.
Yeah.
And I do think she has a very engaged, loyal following just because her personality is so open and
Yeah, no, she
whatever.
seems great.
But I think it's mainly because they have
Great.
that food
But
aspect
yes,
attached.
I mean, that helps. But every time she's posted about us, and she's posted about us like 4 times, which
Yeah.
we are uber thankful for. It means the world. She just traffic like immediately, and it's to the point where we're a small business, very small, and we cannot.
Well, we don't always have that much stuff on hand.
No, but I can't not take advantage of that traffic.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
You know, so I essentially treat that like 24 hours where it's on her story as like a pre-sale.
Yeah.
For that, and so I'm just. I'm starting to
everything
make
available.
some stuff, and I just make it all available until that's done, and then I close it off. So I think she posted on Tuesday evening, so I spent Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday making more Gushies.
Yeah, all your
packing
stuff went out
orders.
on Thursday.
Half of, like 3/4 of it went out on Thursday.
Oh, I guess I took-
And then a few more went out on
I took
Friday.
the rest.
Just the final amount. But yeah, so that occupied all of my free time. And then, yeah, I left for the wedding Friday morning. I left here at 4:30 and then got to my sister. I drove with my sister and her boyfriend. And then, it's funny, I got to Atlanta. You know, we hit some traffic in North Georgia. But I got to Atlanta at 2:15. Right? And so where the wedding was in Roswell, Georgia, which is on the north side, and Kelly flew, and she was getting her flight was scheduled to land at 3, a little after 3, and there was a debate on do we Uber. They can hear this for sure. Uber or have someone pick them up. And originally I thought I was going to be. If we didn't have that traffic, we would have been in Atlanta by like 1:30. So I thought I would have like an hour or so to relax, hang out until I needed to go pick up Kelly. So I committed to that, and so I got to the Airbnb, spent about
7 minutes.
10 minutes or less. I went to the bathroom, I got my luggage in, and then I got in my parents' car and drove to the airport. Now, if you don't know anything about Atlanta,
My flight landed at like a little after 3, so I was walking out to meet him at like 3:40.
yeah. And so that's when I got there. It's a 30 it was like a 32-mile drive that took like an hour and 15 there, and then an hour and probably almost an hour and a half back. So my 8-hour drive ended up being 11 hours. I was in the car for like 12.
I told him that I would Uber, and he
I
was
know,
like, that
I
would
just-
defeat the purpose of me
Yes.
driving to save money, and I was like, that's true, but I just don't want you to feel like you have to.
Because that's why I drove and she flew. I mean, the tickets were $350 for flights, which is just like
to go to Atlanta.
To go to Atlanta, and
and it's not a trip that like, it's not like a vacation.
Yeah, and I already had. There was already 2 cars that I know of that were going down.
Yeah.
So might as well take advantage, save some money. And we did. It worked.
Yeah,
the plan was there.
I got so motion sick on the flight. It was great until like the last 30 minutes. We hit a bunch of turbulence, and yeah, I was like, oh, I didn't have enough food in my system or water because I had spent the morning getting the packages out, taking care of the girls, making sure they were all set up. My mom ended up getting over just a little bit later. So I just ignore it. It's not, it's fine.
It's just, I
know.
I don't know what I expected.
This is just him. This time of day in this spot, this is what he does. Anyway, I literally thought I was going to get sick on the flight. It was terrible. I felt immediately better once I got off. And then I did not account for how long the drive was going to be, because when I looked it up previously, like out of rush hour time, it said like 37 to 42 minutes or something. I figured it would be a little bit longer, but oh my gosh, yeah, the traffic was bad.
Friday afternoon Atlanta.
The starting and stopping, changing lanes. I reclined in my seat and I was like, I just need a minute. That was rough, but
that was brutal.
Yeah, Friday was not fun. That's okay. Well, Friday night was fun. Friday day was not fun.
Yeah. But it was our first time away with the girls.
Yeah, us two both being
away for like a night or two. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I think it went as expected. Yeah. Like I wasn't nervous for the girls. I also wasn't nervous for my mom because she spends so much time with them and they're so comfortable with her.
No, I wasn't either.
But yeah, no, I thought it went great. I thought the girls did great. Like you weren't here for this, but when I thought they did good when, I guess I didn't see you leave in the morning. They didn't see me in the morning. But like in the morning when you weren't there, fine.
Yeah.
When I was leaving, fine.
Yeah.
Because they were excited to be with Grandma.
Yeah.
Which I was not expecting that. So that was like a good start. And then, yeah, I felt like because it was a good first trip because it was so short.
It was very short, yeah.
I think it definitely would have been harder on them and...
Less than 48 hours for you.
Yeah.
Right? Because you left here at 11.
Yeah. It was like...
11 on Friday, got back
probably
at 10
like 46 hours or something. Yeah, so... No, I thought it went really well. My mom...
She's the best. We know you're watching.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I told her thank you so many times. She stayed here, which was nice. So the girls got to stay in their own environment. Like, we basically tried to keep their routine the same. So they hung out here, and then she always has them on Saturdays, at least when she's in town. So she still took them over to her house on Saturday. They did nap time there, then back here for bedtime. And then I was home at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she took him to Grater's ice cream spot near us, and they have like a whole little kids play area. So they did that. I think they did that on Friday. And then, Saturday they went to her place. But such cute pictures.
We were just kind of keeping tabs on the Google Home app that we have set up in our rooms.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Just really at bedtime, because bedtime has been a hot mess recently.
It starts with bath time with Emmy.
Yes, I include this all at the same time, but Emmy's been so strange with her bath time, and really after bath time, it's like she just cries because I don't really get it. Oh, Logan.
I think it's like it's not witching hour because she's older, but it's just like that end of the day. You still have some energy, but like she's tired, but she's not ready. It's managing emotions.
We ended up seeing Emmy running around naked for a little bit on Saturday night.
My mom,
after Avery was put down.
Every time we were at the wedding, and I was like, oh, my mom, like still weren't even in the room, and I'm like, I just know Emmy's giving her a hard time with pajamas and going in her, like Avery was already in bed asleep at this point. And
pajamas.
She did that the last time my mom babysat too. She was like, it took a while to get in the room, and they were fine, but like Emmy was being goofy and silly, and she was like, I was afraid she was going to be too loud for Avery sleeping right there. But it was all good. And when I went to the bathroom and I could actually like hear, they still weren't in the room, but they were just reading books, and it was cute.
Yeah.
And then she was in bed at like 8.
Yeah, no.
It was just funny. Yeah, I was like, oh, they're not in there. And then I looked at one of the videos, and it was just Emmy's.
Trying to, like, in her PJ drawer, like, just naked, trying to find something.
Pick out what she wanted to wear. Yeah, it was funny. So, yeah, thank you, Mom. You're the best.
You're the best. We appreciate you so much. If we don't say enough, we try to, but I don't think we say it enough, so thank you again.
Well, I tell her all the time.
I know. I try to. I'm just saying. I know I don't do it enough. So thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. But yeah, no, the trip was good. While we were in Atlanta.
What do you think about Atlanta? First of all.
So.
I'm from Atlanta. I go down to Atlanta, or I used to, for a lot of my life, I was down in Atlanta for, multiple times a year. And so I'm familiar with it enough. And I love Atlanta.
Yeah, I like Atlanta. The city, not for me. Any city really is just not my vibe. But like once you get into the suburbs, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. At least they're great. Even the Airbnb we were at, we were talking like they're, the homes, they're on a little bit bigger lots, which is nice. There's lots of grass. So yeah, no, it's nice. I could never live there for multiple reasons. The humidity, just the whole, like it was 80 degrees when we were there. And
the pollen is worse.
Yeah, that's what I was about to mention. And this isn't the main thing because I know it was like record highs.
Like 30-year records.
Yeah. It was so bad. Everything was caked in like neon yellow. Like we get pollen on our stuff, but it was wild. It was
so dense. Like you could...
And we would go sit out on the front porch. I'm like, I can't sit out here. Like I am already congested. It was bad.
It was bad.
But yeah, just the humidity and like definitely the heat in the summer. Same reason. Like I love Florida. I could never live in Florida year round. But the traffic.
So I say, like you forgot something.
Pass. Yeah, no, that's the first thing. We were driving home.
So bad.
Yeah, we were driving to the Airbnb after he picked me up, and I was like, if I had kids here, I would never leave the house or go anywhere on the highway when there was a chance of there being traffic, because it's so bad.
It's funny.
It like triples your time.
Yeah.
And it's so long. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
We came up and over one of the hills, and I just saw all of it. I was like, no.
Yeah. And our trip though was the worst. Because we were in Northeast, we were in Roswell, Johns Creek area, which is like way northeast.
Yeah, airport was already far away.
Airport is way down to the south part, so it was already far away on the busiest the busiest road.
Yeah,
up 85.
Well, and backtracking from where we live, like from your drive.
Yes.
It's not like it was on the way.
No,
which is the reason why I Ubered home.
My trip from Roswell to the Airbnb was just as long as your flight.
Yeah.
From Columbus to Georgia.
Yeah.
Which is just silly to think about.
Yeah. The Atlanta traffic is crazy. I'd already been
driving for 8 hours.
And that's something that everybody talks about, but I feel like if you haven't been there during... Like you might not understand.
The rush hour at like the worst
because it's like
time.
6 lanes.
Yeah, the highways are gigantic.
And it is still just packed.
Yeah.
So.
Anyways, I talk about this for a while because it's so frustrating. But
yeah, so Friday night they had like a little cocktail party because there were so many out of town people.
Out of town people.
Your family alone.
Yeah, this is
9 people.
My first cousin. Well,
no, not even, because aunt, uncle, Grammy.
We had 9 people at our Airbnb.
Yeah. And then Grammy.
An uncle, or 2 more uncles, grandparent, 2 more kids.
6 more people.
And an aunt.
Yeah.
So that's just
Ohio.
Just Ohio people. And then you had the
North,
other side.
South Carolina.
And then you had, South Carolina, which was...
a lot.
5 kids.
Yeah.
Grandma, mom. Mm-hmm. So yeah, a ton of out of town people. They had the
cocktail party.
Was awesome.
Well, and I didn't realize they did their rehearsal dinner before that.
Yeah.
So they did that, and then that was at 8 o'clock at a winery. There was goats.
A little late for our schedule, but it worked out.
For the day that we all had.
For the day that but it was fun. It worked out well.
Oh no, it was
great.
beautiful. It was so fun.
We had a blast, taking pictures, reminiscing, seeing people we haven't seen.
Yeah,
in a while.
no, it was so fun. And then Saturday, we all just kind of took our time in the morning. I still got up pretty early. You slept in.
Slept until 9:15.
And there was a Lifetime near there. There's two. So we went to the same one we went to last time, Johns Creek. I got a workout in with your sister. Ross did his own thing. You did your own thing. Yeah. So that was good. So nice. Because we had so much time that day. Like, aside from the wedding, we weren't doing anything. Yeah. So we were there. I feel like we were out longer than we planned, but it honestly worked out perfect. For like 3 hours,
almost
probably.
3 hours, because we went to Moe's after. I'm not a huge fan of Moe's. I think it's fine. But I had to go back to this location.
This Moe's.
Because the guy working there, we still want to send an email to corporate. The guy working there is like...
Michael Scott of Moe's.
No.
Loves his job.
He loves his job.
The passion.
And he loves... Yes, but he wasn't Michael Scott.
I mean, the passion for...
Yes, he just loved what he did. And if he didn't love what he did... then I give him more credit, because he was just...
Yeah, if that's just his personality all the time.
So, it was infectious. He was making us all laugh.
From the moment we walked in.
Yeah.
To the moment we walked out.
He had, so they have this thing at Moe's, I think it's called the Stack. Ross got it. And he made the, I don't know how it started. I just overheard this because I was a little bit away. He made the joke, yeah, we used to call it a Crunchwrap Supreme, but what was it? Taco Bell got kind of pissy at us or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. He made a really funny joke about Taco Bell.
He was just talking.
When he was saying that theirs was better.
Yeah, he was.
They did it first.
It was great. Yeah. We're talking about this 3 days later.
That's how good it was.
Obviously, he made an impact on us.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to you. I know you're watching. Moe's.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
I don't know either. I don't know that he told us his name.
Moe's Johns Creek. You're the man. So, and then, we just hung out. I took a nap.
We laid out.
Which was not really needed.
Sat in chairs, collected pollen. And then, wedding at 5. Yeah.
There was really nice country club.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Whereas that area of Atlanta's pretty wealthy.
Yeah, so it was black tie at a country club. It was beautiful. The backdrop of everything, it was like rolling hills. Everything was in bloom. It was so pretty. Her dress was pretty. Nick looked great.
Tux with the white. It was great.
White jacket.
Food was good. We'll talk. We want to talk about weddings.
Were you as obsessed with those cheese ball things as your brother was?
I was about to mention the hors d'oeuvres. No, he had a bunch of them. I should have had more, but they had hors d'oeuvres. There
was some goat cheese one.
It was like
the cracker
chicken cordon bleu.
Oh, see.
Balls. They had little mini crab cakes, which were really good too.
I didn't try one of those.
Both of those were really good.
I think I would have.
That was the only thing I had.
The cracker, it has some kind of. It was everything. The two that I had, the cheese ball. And then the other one, very good, but when cheese has too much flavor sometimes, where it's just potent almost. I don't know. That's how the one tasted, but the cheese ball was good. I just was cracking up at how much your brother loved it.
Yeah, he was talking.
You would not. You probably didn't have it, because if you looked at it, you'd be like, "That's not for me." I
kind of remember seeing it, and
I don't want that.
I think I decided. Oh no.
Yeah, exactly. But no, they were good, and just the whole night was really pretty.
Yeah, it all worked out really well.
Your cousin's speech was just
my first cousin Nick was one who was getting married. His best man was his dad, my Uncle Jeff.
So cool! I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
They are super close.
Well, no, I know that.
They have a great relationship. His dad was the best man, and then his sister, who was a bridesmaid, did the last speech of the night, and absolutely destroyed. She was
mic drop
hilarious.
good. Yeah. dry humor.
Hilarious. Of course, it ended with tears. Like, it just,
Yeah.
it just, the whole thing.
But it was phenomenal. I mean, like,
The best,
I was
the
crying
best
laughing.
wedding speech I've ever heard.
Yeah.
By a mile.
So good. She did so
I
good.
wish I could remember more of what she said.
She...
Like, in pure older sister fashion, I'll spend this time talking about myself.
Yeah. When she was kept saying that they were called, like, everyone who talked about Nick beforehand was calling him impulsive. And she was like, people are calling him impulsive. He was annoying.
Yeah, it was
and she called him annoying probably 15 times.
It was so funny.
It was hilarious. Every single person was like crying, laughing. It was great. Jess, you did a great job. And yeah, food was good. And dancing was good.
We're going to talk about
stuff you want to bring up because weddings are just a hot topic. Like it's a lot to plan,
especially with now after COVID. I feel like they've gotten
the price
like doubled in price.
Yeah,
it seems like from what we hear, we got lucky. We did it right before shutdowns hit, and we did our wedding was in September of 2019. Mm-hmm. So like stuff started closing down in March of 2020. Mm-hmm. We got real lucky.
Yeah. Well, because where we got married shut down.
They shut down, and they have not opened since.
And I don't think people got their deposits back.
Nope, a lot of people didn't. We were talking about that.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we'll talk about that. But I'm trying to think. I was really happy with both of my dresses. So that was good. Your suit worked out great.
Yeah, I bought a new suit on Wednesday.
I think we talked about this in the last episode on if black tie meant... Did we talk about this? Or is this just a conversation for us? This was a topic at the house, like while we were in Atlanta, on if black tie means tux or just black suit.
Or just formal.
But I think formal is another category that you could like put on the invitation. I always thought black tie meant tux. But on their invitation, it said black tie optional or like suggested or something. Yeah. So the cocktail, well, I posted pictures on Instagram, but I wore 2 black dresses.
Yeah. And I just got a black suit with a black tie.
Yeah. And I would say after being there, most people took it as
black tie. There were a lot of tuxes.
A lot of All of the girls were in gowns.
Yeah. There were plenty of black suits, and there are also a fair number.
There was a handful of
dark blue and charcoal suits as well.
But definitely... Mostly
80%, 90% were probably black.
Yeah.
And everyone had a jacket and a tie.
Yeah, jacket and tie. Yeah, I definitely... And I think if you put it on there, it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to go the safe route and go black tie.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But it was super fun to get dressed up like that because, 1, we haven't been to a wedding in a while, and 2, we haven't been to a black tie wedding before, like more formal setting.
Like a super formal setting.
Yeah, it was fun. We've been to weddings. My last one would have been for Catherine.
What do you think the most formal wedding we've been to before this was? Maybe Caitlin and Eric's? Way back in like 2017?
Maybe. But I wouldn't even...
Because when I think about it, it's like winter, I think winter, I think formal.
Yeah.
I think summer, I think blue. Honestly.
Yeah, or like khaki, like that,
or
like
khaki,
tan color.
or linen.
That's yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Right. I mean, that was definitely the most formal.
Yeah. So let's talk about it then. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about it because we've been asked enough, and it's hot on our mind. The amount of times I feel like you've been asked either.
I get asked every time I do a Q&A box.
Tips on weddings, like I'm going to get married. Do you have any tips for me? Opinions on weddings.
Yeah.
Let's get into it a little bit.
Okay.
Let's start with the venue. So what you should be looking for.
Well, first things first.
You are looking for a venue.
I think, just before we get into this, just a quick little, because it all depends on your budget. I think once you have your budget picked, I think you pick like your top 3 big spending. Mm-hmm. Venue's got to be up there because it houses everything else. So I think once you have your budget, I would assume venue is in like your top 3 most important. Like ours was venue. We knew we wanted a photographer, videographer, expensive. And then whatever.
Because also if you if you choose to do, like my brother and his fiance are planning a wedding right now, and they are doing a venue at a family member's house. They have like a big area. So this, when we say venue for like that circumstance, which is becoming more common, that includes, you now have to get your own chairs, your own.
Yeah, well, and just in general,
stuff.
like you can't really, like you have to get the venue nailed down to have the date to schedule everybody else.
Yeah.
So I guess just not even for budgeting, just like you have to get that done first. I personally, and like the outdoor wedding was beautiful. I would not want to stress, and this is exactly why we chose the venue we did. I do not want to stress about weather on our wedding day.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to pay 10 grand. That's what it was when we got quoted for a tent. So I'm sure it's more now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, the original venue we looked at, which was still within the same area, or like the same venue, they just had 3 separate ones. They had an outdoor space and an indoor space, and it was going to be 10 grand, which you had to rent.
If it rained.
You had to have it optional, like, because you have to have it booked.
And you just hope.
Exactly. So I was like, no.
Yeah.
So for me, I go indoor, but I guess what is your question with venue?
It's not really a question. It's just tips, opinions. What I wanted to say was,
ours came with a planner, which was like
kind of what I was going to get.
changer.
That's what I was getting to is every place that you're looking at is going to have just so many different options on what it comes with. Ours, the fact that it came with, I wouldn't like, it was not a wedding planner, it was just the event planner.
Yeah.
So they handled.
Oh yeah, she was. Yeah.
Yeah, they handled the food.
It's like the
they
coordinator.
handled the like chairs, tables.
Well, yeah, but she also sent like she had
linens.
a checklist. So I would talk to
I
her
know.
like every couple months.
Yeah.
She reached out to me. She told me exactly what I needed to do, exactly what I needed to pick. I would send her all of our stuff.
Yeah.
And then even stuff that she wasn't in charge of because she was in charge of
on
our
her
wedding.
list.
It was on her list. So
Yeah.
she'd be like, hey, did you pick your DJ yet?
Yeah.
And she would give us suggestions if we wanted them. So yeah, that was super helpful. I can't imagine doing all that myself.
That was huge. That because we weren't gonna hire an event planner.
No, because like
your
my mom
mom
could
is,
have
like,
helped so much.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like that was great having that because
That was honestly one of my favorite parts about where we got married.
Like things that you might not think of is like ours came with, and not a lot of them do, bartenders. Like we didn't have to go out and hire our own bartenders. Like they came with bartenders. We supplied the alcohol, which is another great option.
Yeah.
We got to pick what was there. We went out and bought it wholesale, and then just brought it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you run out, you run out. That's the risk you run. But
I guess I would say about venue is obviously that's something that needs to get done first, and don't be afraid. Or not even don't be afraid, but educate yourself on like asking the nitty gritty questions, because it is going to be a huge chunk of your budget if you are going more of like the traditional wedding route. And yeah, don't be afraid to ask what all's included and if they can include other stuff for you, and just see where they can work with you on things, because I don't think you realize until you're in it just how much that includes.
Yeah. My point was, I think it's just making sure you and your other person have a priority, like prioritize your list of things that you want with your venue.
I think important last thing on this for a venue.
What those would be.
I think no matter what, a big enough dance floor.
Yeah.
Because we've been to a couple where they're kind of small, and it's like people will make do with whatever, but it just makes you feel already kind of more awkward in an already awkward situation.
Where the dance floor is placed is bigger than you think as well.
Yes. Far enough away from the
Not
tables
in the middle of all the tables, because that's awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either on one end
on
of
one
it.
end. Yeah.
Because people do like to sit and watch the dance floor and, see people having fun.
Yeah, like if you're already a little shy.
Yeah. Which, this is the next point I want to talk about. I got to go to the bathroom. Next point I want to talk about, or two, are food and dancing. So give me one second. So I guess since we were already talking about it, we can talk about dancing.
Yeah.
So I have some thoughts on this. Dancing is contagious, right?
Yeah.
So it all starts with, I want to say it all starts with the bride and the groom. However, they are busy.
Sorry, she might need water.
So the bride and the groom, they're busy. They got a lot of stuff to do. They have to eat. They have to decide a lot of stuff. So it really starts with the friends, family of the bride and the groom to get the dancing going. So if you are bride and groom or potential, and you want dancing at your wedding, either you need to start it or you need to go to your people and make sure that they get it started. And just do your best to get it started, because it all starts, like I said, it's contagious, and it if you want the people that, don't know everybody there, like if you have someone that knows everybody there, they're going to be less shy to do it. But, your cousins, your out-of-town friends, maybe your college buddies, or your high school buddies that don't know your new, something like that, it's less likely they're going to get on the dance floor unless everybody's out there. And then obviously music.
Yeah, music is huge. I think they had the wedding we were just at, they had a great DJ, great playlist, which we expected. But I think maybe this is just me. I know a lot of people will start with you have to have a song that is well known, that gets people out there. But I also don't think it can be one of the cheesy ones, because then people still feel awkward. It's
I got some.
That's one where you've already got to be moving in order to do that.
Well known enough.
Yeah,
but
not one of the cheesy, not like the Cupid Shuffle to start.
I have some songs that I want to run by you that I think, that I Googled, that would be good. I think good starter songs. Okay, because I agree with you. Well known. I think everyone's got to know the lyrics. Not just know the song. They got to know the lyrics. It's way less awkward when you're out there dancing and you can lip sync or sing it, I guess, than you know a couple of the words. That's me. But anyways, so
are we doing a yay or nay?
I'm gonna give you some.
Okay.
I want you to tell me yes
for
or no.
the first, or
not
just songs
first,
in general?
First couple.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. September.
That was literally the one I was gonna say.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, September.
Yes. Yeah. Great one.
Okay.
And because, like we were saying, if it's a lot of family there and your friends don't necessarily know your family, that gets the moms and dads, that gets the older crowd out there too. So I think that just makes
just the millennials.
Yeah, but I think it just gets lots of different ages out there.
Everybody knows that song.
Exactly.
It's
but I'm just
a
saying,
classic
so
for those
it's not
people.
just like the young kids.
It's even like a meme for the young kids. But yes.
Yeah, it's great.
Everyone knows.
So that was the song that came to mind for me.
I Want to Dance with Somebody. So
yes.
Some Whitney Houston. Everybody knows that. If they don't know, everybody knows that song. It's a classic. Okay. Backstreet Boys. Backstreet's back. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not huge on that one?
No, I like it. I wasn't thinking about that for the first few, but yeah, I definitely think that would get people out there.
Dancing Queen.
I do think that's more of a end of the night.
Okay.
But yes.
And then the other one I have it as a meh, kind of I don't know, but everyone knows it, is Sweet Caroline. That might be more of an ender too.
Yeah. But no, September. I think that may have been one of our first songs that played at ours.
Probably.
But yeah, that was one of the first that came to mind, because it's just it hits with everybody.
Yes. And I don't think we're just thinking about this or talking about this. DJs play a huge part. You have to have the DJ. I didn't think DJs were that important. I thought they just kind of played on a Spotify playlist and just kind of went down. No, there's a equation to getting people out there, which I have a question for and a theory about. I'll get to in a minute. But so I think those are just some specific songs, but Michael Jackson, Prince, Queen, Whitney are big ones to start with. I think those ones are just like you said, everybody knows. Everyone knows the lyrics. They're fun. They're upbeat.
Yeah, you got to start with something upbeat and just that everybody knows. Not cheesy.
Here's my question. Was there a single slow song at this wedding?
No.
No. Okay. Here's my theory about that. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, is if you have a wedding where you have a bunch of people dancing like the whole time, why would you risk messing with that vibe by playing a slow song?
Think of how many people would have left. They would have used that as their time to go get a drink.
Yes.
And then maybe they would have got caught up in conversation and not come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I do think, though, if you have a dead dance floor, playing a slow song might be able to pull people in.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a DJ that does, the classic, like, if you've been married for 1 year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's not great because it ends up pushing people out
away
when they're done. But, yes, getting people to come if they're slow.
No.
You just need to go to bed. You're waiting on mom to go to bed. So, yeah, I think slow songs would ruin the vibe on a busy,
the dance floor was full the whole time.
Yeah. And again, this dance floor the ballroom was pretty big, and it was all the way at the front. Like
all the tables were
behind it.
Yeah.
So like you didn't have people watching from the side.
No,
you
it
had
was
people
great.
watching, which I think was perfect.
We also were outside for like the first 30 to 40 minutes, but yeah, I don't think there was a slow song.
No.
I even thought there was like one of the transitions. I thought there was going to be one. And then in my head, I was like, I'm out. Yeah. And then he's turned it back up and it was just a transition into another upbeat song.
Yeah. Because I think if you do get people out with a slow song, DJ's got to have a good transition point to really hype it up and make it so that those people don't leave. It was great. That was the best dancing wedding I've been to in a while. And what helped is the bride and groom were out there the entire
whole
time.
Yeah.
They were dancing the whole time.
Yeah, they were center stage.
Yeah, the entire
whole
time. And all their friends were out there the whole time. So.
Also, to be fair, they're a big dancing group.
They are.
So like.
Yeah, no. I mean, I didn't, I expected nothing less. But I'm just saying that's why I think it is so big.
Yeah.
If you already have that type of party, type of friends, then I think it'll all work out. But if you don't, like if you know your friends and you don't think they'll get out there and party, it's got to start with you. And then honestly, you just have talk with them before. It's like, hey, I want to dance. I want people to be having a party. I am relying on you. I need you to help me start it.
Yeah.
And I think if you ask a real friend, they will do that for you.
Yeah.
It might take them a couple more drinks, but they will do it for you.
The liquid courage.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then wait, what did I say? Oh, the stay away froms I feel like are the absolute no's nowadays are Cha-Cha Slide, Cupid Shuffle, and like sad songs, right?
I feel like the new Cupid Shuffle is the WAP. Like I feel like people now do that
Did they do
instead.
That one?
No, they didn't.
Okay. Well, not everyone knows the WAP.
I'm just saying it feels like that is like
I get it.
The younger crowd.
I get it.
Yeah. To where it keeps them out there and they're not like it's still like I don't want to, but then they still do it.
Or what's the other one? Cotton Eye Joe. Do you remember? If it had been Cotton
I know what the song is. There's a dance to that. I think you're thinking of something else.
Maybe I am.
Anyway, I thought there was something else you wanted to touch on.
Food.
Oh, food. So yeah, we are both in agreement that, and even the weddings that I've been to that have had the best plated meals, I would still take buffet style over that.
Yeah.
Any day.
100%.
I know it's less formal, but I also, and this is one of the main things, I think less food goes to waste because you're letting the person pick exactly the quantities that they want. And maybe maybe you said you wanted chicken, but maybe once you're there, you decide on that ahead of time. Yeah. What if you get there and you're like, oh, the salmon looks really good.
Yeah.
So
I think
buffet style is just great.
You might not even, if you want a fancy wedding, that might not even be an option.
No, it's probably not.
But, and nothing against plated dinners. It just, in my experience, having been to plenty of weddings with both, you get your food faster with the buffet, typically, unless you're like that lucky table that gets their plate first. You get more food with the buffet, and you get to pick. There's more options. more variety.
That's the other thing I will say about a venue too, to ask, especially if you've tried their food and you don't love it. Ours had tons of options, and the food was really good, but we were allowed to do our own dessert, which I loved.
Oh, yes.
Because, I mean, we just brought a bunch of stuff in, which was really fun.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, food, we're both on the same team, buffet style, but yeah, that's, for the more formal places, I doubt that's even an option.
If you're dead set on your plate and you want that, great. I'd say hors d'oeuvres is a must.
Oh, yeah.
Did we have hors d'oeuvres at ours? I don't remember, because we didn't do cocktail hour.
We did do cocktail hours while we weren't there. There was hors d'oeuvres.
Okay.
And I think it was like bruschetta, like little things like that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing food-wise, late night snack.
Oh. Late night snack was the best decision.
Yeah. Same thing at like Taylor and Felicia's wedding. Right? They were the ones who they did
I don't remember what it was.
Pizza or wing. There was buffalo something. Yeah, I know I had it. Anyway, it's just it's a second wind for everybody at the party too. I think late night snack.
We had little sliders and French fries. Was it potato?
Yeah, it was just
fries?
Absolutely. Yeah, sweet potato fries and sliders.
Also, I think
it does not add that much to it either.
No, it didn't for us. Like the bill. No. And I think another thing is every time there's a coffee bar at a wedding, I love that.
Yep.
Again, it's, decaf or regular, but, if you're getting regular, it adds a little bit of energy. And I don't know, I just think that's so,
especially
I love
dessert,
coffee.
Yeah.
I love late night coffee.
Yeah.
That's tea. But I love late night coffee.
Yeah.
Especially at like a wedding out in public.
Yeah, we're on the same page with food.
Yeah. Also, the other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit was structure. Like a piece of advice on structure. Number one, the thing that I always think about is cocktail hour will always go longer than you think it is going to.
Yeah.
Especially if
they don't do a first look.
If you don't do a first look. If you're taking pictures, that's your time to take pictures. Just bank on it taking longer than you think. And I try not to stress out too much about it. But that's why I think the hors d'oeuvres are so big.
Yeah.
Speeches. Now, okay. Speeches, and I guess this goes towards the ceremony as well. I don't think you're going to have anybody complain if if the ceremony or the speeches were too short.
Oh, yeah, no.
Not saying you have to cut out anything. If you want everybody in your wedding party to say a speech, do that. But I just think by the time that comes around, most people are ready to party, ready to start dancing, ready to keep, mingling, and they're not going to complain if you cut out some of that stuff.
Yeah, well, actually, this is what we were talking about with your brother, too. Like, he was almost on the other side of, like, I don't even know if we're really going to have anybody say anything. Like, I wouldn't be worried about that either.
No, yeah.
I wouldn't force it, because if you're forcing the person to do that, they're likely just super nervous and not enjoying the day anyway.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be stressed unless that's something that you really want.
My brother was my best man, and he didn't eat dinner.
We were talking about the food, and he was like, "Yeah, I didn't even have the food,"
because he had to make that speech. And if I knew that, I would have told him, "You don't have to. It's fine. You don't have to."
Yeah. I think he did want to, though.
He did great, and
his speech was great.
There is that thing. It's like, I want to. Like, you don't want to, but you do.
Yeah.
So I get it, but that's in the ceremony as well. Like, if you have some stuff that you want to put in your ceremony that you need, that as your dream, do it. But again, our ceremony from start to finish was 22 minutes, and that's not a fart. That was my belly. I've been having some weird stuff going on with my stomach lately. Yeah, a bunch of people told me after that that was a great wedding ceremony. We had a pastor, my pastor, say some stuff, but he kept it really short and to the point. It was very specific to our relationship, all that stuff was just dialed in. It worked out so well, and it just gets people, typically when you're booking your wedding venue, it's like you have 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I guess if you're doing your ceremony at the same spot, you're doing your reception.
Yeah.
So it just,
Gives you
allows for more
time.
time for either pictures for cocktail hour or gets you to your dancing faster. Because I think a great time to start dancing is like 8 o'clock, if not earlier, if you can. You know what I'm saying? What would you say?
I don't have a say on that. I don't know.
I'm just curious. I think that's it, though. I think that's all I wanted to say on weddings. I guess.
I feel like you're going at this very much more from like a attendee's perspective, like a guest, not if this is your
that
wedding.
part. Yeah, I'm telling you what. I guess.
Yeah, I think because I know you asked me about this, like what my piece of advice would be.
Yeah.
To brides, I know we just got done saying like opinions. Everyone's going to have their opinion. At the end of the day, it is your day for you and your spouse. So make a priority list, stick to that priority list, and with the budget. That is like one of my number one pieces of advice because I know the wedding is just stressful. It is. And especially with the prices being what they are now. I mean, your brother's going through this right now. And every time we see him talking about it, it's like crazy. But yeah, so pick like your top 3 things, start there, work your way down, save money where you can on the things you don't care about as much. And then my second piece of advice, which everyone told me, and it's not that I didn't believe them, but it's another thing, like you don't realize just how fast it goes until you're in it. You spend all of this time planning, and yes, you want everything to be perfect, and I'm very type A, but soak up the day as much as you can. If little things go wrong here and there during the day, like honestly, just brush them off and like it's meant to be.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be fine.
Control what you can control.
Yeah. And like there's going to be a lot that is out of your control, and don't let perfection ruin you being able to be in the moment and enjoy it, because I think you would look back and be very, just like disappointed that you weren't in the moment more, because you spend all this time planning and it's like done. And then you're just looking back at your pictures and videos and, which that was one thing we did. I did a very good job. I think you did too, of staying in the moment the whole time. Like I feel I soaked up that whole day and I loved it.
For the most part, I did. I mean,
yeah. So yeah, that would be my advice.
Okay. That's good advice. Want to hear mine? Mm-hmm. Okay. My advice, this is to the husbands or grooms. I know it's hard because it's your party and you want to have fun, but don't drink too much.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't drink too much.
Yeah.
Number one...
That goes back to soaking it up.
Yeah. Number one, you want to remember... Hopefully you want to remember this night for a long time. I mean, it's your wedding night. It's something you're supposed to remember. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't want to be sloppy. Mm-hmm. That's just a really bad look. I've been a part of that. Like, I've seen that, and it's just... It's
kind of awkward,
It's
too.
kind of awkward, and also it impedes with my second piece of advice, which is honestly more important, is be there for and with your wife.
Yeah.
It's your first night together. Mm-hmm. You want to do things as a couple, as a team. Mm-hmm. It's easy to want to go off with your boys and party and
or
drink.
to just get pulled away by people
and it's easy to get pulled away.
Yeah.
And it happens, but
find your way back.
Find your way back, because
that's great advice.
It's very stressful the day and the night is, and it's a lot of stuff's going on. It's just easier for everybody, and it will be much more special. If you
and
would
memorable.
Do that whole thing together instead of...
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. I know.
Spend
I'm just
the whole
saying.
time,
But because we've seen this before.
Oh, yeah. I think that is the thing. I don't even think it... I mean, I'm sure it is in some cases of, like, wanting to be with your friends. I do think it is way more of a case, like, there's people from out of town, and especially, like, parents being like, oh, come say hi to...
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just, it's very easy to get pulled away, and I think that is phenomenal advice to... try to stick together the whole time so you can actually celebrate your day with each other. Yeah. Great advice.
Yeah. Okay. I
think that's it on weddings.
Else about weddings?
No, I don't think so. I mean, that wedding made me excited for the other weddings we have this year.
2 more. 3 more. 3 more weddings this year.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. I think it'll be different than the other 3.
Oh, well, that's a part of the thing
So,
that I
they're all
like
different.
seeing how, because you get to see their personalities come out, and that was one thing we were talking with Nick and Emily after the couple that got married, and they had mentioned a couple things, and I'm like, literally, it doesn't matter. And like the night before at the cocktail party, Nick was like so worried about the weather. I'm like, you don't need to, like, I know it's normal for you to worry about other people, and I'm like, we're not here for the weather.
Yeah.
We're not here for anything else other than to celebrate you.
Yeah.
And like, I hope, this is what I said to them at the end when we saw them. I'm like, I hope today was like everything that you dreamed it would be, and I hope you enjoyed it
and
so
they
much.
both seemed like they had an absolute ball.
Yeah, I think that it was perfect.
Yeah, I think it worked out for everybody. That's one of the best weddings I've been to. I think our wedding was a blast as well.
Yeah. I know we were talking about if we would change anything. Can you stop fussing with that, please?
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I would not
at some
change
point we
anything.
can talk more about our wedding. I mean, there's a wedding video. If you want to go look.
But I wouldn't change anything. I liked ours a lot.
Yeah, it was a blast. So yeah, okay. I guess the last thing I want to do is talk about the book club. So if you're not a part of the book club, get out of here or join, because we have a cool book this month that I'm excited about. Now let me talk to you about
down to the wire.
Well, let me talk to you about this for a second, okay? So, our book club is on Fable.
We were busy, Christopher.
How we pick the books is I put up a poll. This time I put up 2 polls. One was a fantasy poll and one was a non-fantasy. It included a romance, historical fiction, and a couple others. And so you voted on each of those polls, and the 2 winners that came out went on to the final poll to pick which book it was. So it was between these 2. The Nightingale, Kristen Hanna, very popular book. Very famous author. Kristen Hanna has a ton of bestsellers. And The House in the Cerulean Sea. I always say on or in. So, House in the Cerulean Sea. This is the fantasy book. This is the historical fiction romance. After 3 days of this poll, it was tied 50-50 on votes. And Kelly did not vote.
I voted on the first one.
Not on the second one.
I did not get the notification that there was another poll in there. So, no, I didn't vote.
What about me telling you?
We were very busy.
We were busy.
I didn't respond to Alyssa's text message from Friday until today.
Okay. That's fine. I'm not mad. I'm just a little mad. I'm not mad. So, shame on you if you didn't vote.
I told you I would just be the tiebreaker.
Anyways, so, 50-50. So, I made the executive decision, which was to take my vote out. I voted for this. So, we were reading The House in the Cerulean Sea. And I'm actually really pumped about this because...
Me too, because it's a little shorter.
It's short. Well, yeah, it's probably a little bit shorter. Yeah, it is shorter. It is... See, I am a guy... I like to go into all my books knowing as little as possible about it.
You said this in every video.
I know. So I'm just saying, I don't know a ton about this, and if I say what I'm about to say is incorrect, then correct me. If you've read this one, it's essentially, it's a more cozy story. It's a feel-good story about kids with magical powers that were like swept up, and maybe they're being saved or something. I'm not sure. But it's about kids with magical powers, heartwarming, found family, cozy kind of type of story, and I'm pretty pumped for it. Everyone that I've heard this from,
It looks lighthearted.
everyone that I've seen review this says it leaves, like, once you're done with it, it just leaves you feeling good.
Yeah, it's a good feel-good book. Love it.
It was the opposite for this one.
Oh, yeah, so I'm super
A lot of people
about...
said, like, I literally just watched on TikTok a review that some guy did of this. The guy that I have followed for a while, he just does, I don't know, all his stuff is really well done, his reviews. He said this left him broken. He's like, I was in it, I was thought, I got this. It's not going to affect me. Wrong, broke me. He gave it a 4.8 out of 5. So we'll do this soon.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the next poll again because I want to read this. This is my brother's fiance's favorite book of all time. And it's got like 4.6 stars on Goodreads.
Yeah.
So it's got to be pretty good.
So yeah.
So we'll
For
do
what
House
it's
of the
worth-
Cerulean Sea.
For what it's worth, BC on Fable. I'll have it linked below again. If you
I
want to join.
bought this last night at 11 p.m. on Amazon for $11, and it was here this morning, or it was here today. So, $11
I'll tell you what, I am like really.
I think it's
thick of.
it was published in like I want to say 2020. Yeah, 2020. So it's 4 or 5 years old. So most likely you're probably gonna have a copy or two available in the next, if you reserve it at your library or Libby, and I think it's on Spotify as well if you have some listening hours. Good pickup. I haven't even looked if it's on Libby available right now. So, are you almost done with the third book in Beartown?
Mm-hmm.
How close are you?
Maybe like 82% done. There are some things, I mean, there's still a lot. It's a long book. There's still a lot of things that need to get tied up. But man, is it a roller coaster.
He really makes you think something's going to happen.
Yeah, he's really good.
Then he's
really good at that. So anyway, yeah, I'm in the thick of a big, I like one of the main parts of the story right now.
I'm forgetting a lot of this. I need to...
Well, I'm not keeping this in for people who aren't.
No. Well, just spoilers. If you haven't read the winners. So anyways.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's all
I'm
we got.
excited to read this.
We'll reconvene at the end of the month.
Yeah.
For this. I'm still trying to figure out if we want to do like a Zoom call or not. I mean, there's almost 50 members now. So I don't know the best way to like have a discussion would be. That doesn't take like
I just think
all
we can
day.
do a dedicated video, and then we could even, you can go live on YouTube. Like you can do a live, or we can record a video and post it, but you can upload it as like
or we can
like
just,
watching together.
We could just go live on Instagram.
Well, yeah, we could do that
one
too.
night
But
and
I'm
talk about
saying
it. Book club.
Because a
Or
lot of
YouTube,
people
whatever.
are on here.
Or YouTube, that's fine.
We can record a video and then you upload it as like a premiere, so people will get a notification, and then there's like that big live comment section underneath it.
Okay.
All
right. Well, we'll think about it and let you know. But
yeah.
Okay.
That is it. See you in the next one. I'm so tired.
What time is it? 9:30.
Yeah.
9:31. The Reds are about to start. Are the Reds going to win tonight?
No.
You're probably right.
Hasn't it been 3-1?
No, it was. They
Or
lost
1-0?
They lost 1-0 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
And then the game before that streak started, they won 14-3. And the game after that streak ended, they won 10-7. So it's like, figure it out.
Yeah.
And then they got killed yesterday. So, and then they play now. The team that they play tonight is on a 7-game win streak. So it's not looking good. But I want to watch it because I haven't watched a single game yet. Anyways, good night. You know when this video?